Batman punches and then jumps his way through bulletproof glass. That in a facility like Arkham Asylum is likely the sturdiest type of bullet-resistant glass in the world, being glass-clad polycarbonate, where you basically sandwich a special layer of plastic that is 250 times stronger than regular glass between two glass panels. This one in Arkham's prisoner transfer of all places is likely on the high end in terms of its thickness, being something like 2.5 inches or 6.35 centimeters thick. That is capable of stopping high-powered rifles, automatic weapons, and would take hours for someone to break down with a sledgehammer, making Batman's fist akin to practically an RPG. Throughout the game, we see Batman rip off large grates from the wall with relative ease, either lightly setting them down or smashing them to the floor. Grates with massive bolts that, even if we say are a half inch or 1.27 centimeters thick, and even if they're on the cheap side, would still require 60,000 psi of stress each. Otherwise be the equivalent of Batman pulling near 12,000 pounds or 5,300 kilograms per bolt, for a maximum pulling strength of over 47,000 pounds or 21,200 kilograms. Luckily, Batman's smart and shears them off one at a time by twisting the grate, which cuts the required force for each bolt in half. We also meet a terrifying version of Killer Croc, who's 11 feet or 3.3 meters tall, weighs nearly 600 pounds or 270 kilograms, and loves to eat people. Yet in the game, we see Batman lift up a metal sewer gate that is designed to keep Killer Croc imprisoned down in Arkham sewers, and seeing how he's still trapped down there, this gate has been rather successful. So fumbling around with some math on the weight of large gates based on their width and height, this thing as a whole could weigh an approximate 3,000 pounds or 1,300 kilograms, which doesn't seem like enough to keep Croc down there. But we've got to be reasonable on this channel, gosh darn it. At one point, we see Batman throw Croc straight over his head, even when having both his arms pressed behind his back like he's a weak sibling being picked on by his older brother, so lifting anything this heavy is really just another day. At one point, we see Batman take on his old rival Bane, who throws him through a brick wall head first, with enough force to shatter a person's shoulders and break a lot more bones, along with him causing some hemorrhaging in his brain. But luckily, Batman has his batsuit on, and the bricks from this wall were clearly made out of Play-Doh. However, during the course of their fight, Bane rips off a near 8 by 4 feet or 2.5 by 1.2 meter slab of concrete, weighing something like 1,200 pounds or 540 kilograms, and hurls the darn thing at Batman, smacking him straight in the face with it, in which case Batman just back rolls it off. However, Bane's grip is not strong enough to hold Batman, as Batman backflips out of Bane's grip just in time for his multi-$100 million car to plow Bane into Gotham's river. But Batman is a billionaire and he's happy to fish it out later. At this point in his career, as we see throughout the game, Batman is said to have mastered most forms of martial arts, for a count of 127 different martial arts styles, from Tiger Kung Fu, boxing to Muay Thai, and even a cool dance fighting called Capoeira, which is almost as cool as when he decides to use drunken boxing to catch hordes of thugs off guard, or throw 3 batarangs at once so accurately as to even impress Hawkeye. Batman is said to have also mastered all aspects of criminology, being everything from sociology, psychology, all criminal law, victimology, being how victims are affected by crime, penology, or the study of prisons, and criminalistics like forensic science. But did he really spend time studying outdated fields like biocriminology? Otherwise, the pseudoscience idea that someone's genes and hormones are the primary cause for leading them to rob a bank at gunpoint. And let's not forget phrenology, or the wonderful idea that a person will commit crimes based solely on the size and shape of their head. Batman has also mastered most physical sciences, from biology, genetics, to anatomy and chemistry, and he has a photographic memory, which means that he can recall anything he sees, being an object or piece of text, with extremely high precision and detail only after a brief exposure. And seeing how only 2 to 10% of the population has this ability in small amounts, I'm beginning to think that Batman is just too overpowered. Over the course of the story, Batman is continually drugged, with Scarecrow blasting him with his fear toxin, a potent hallucinogenic chemical compound that makes the victim live through their worst nightmare in a hyper-realistic manner, with Batman eventually getting enough toxin in him through their repeated encounters to drive 10 men insane, which he he happens to break through, which is all the more impressive once you realize that while still having the fear toxin flowing through his system, he's also injected with a Titan formula that transforms humans into literal Hulks on the frickin' spot. Yet Batman manages to mentally halt his transformation for a full 2 minutes and 49 seconds until he injects himself with the cure, which is also probably a good time to bring up that thanks to his mental toughness, Batman is one of the only men alive who can resist Poison Ivy's seductive pheromones that can hijack the hormonal systems of both men and women. So that month that Batman spent meditating in a cave with no food or water really paid off. And hey, Jim Gordon has some obvious teleportation powers, because I'm pretty sure a second ago he was tied up 4 stories below. Batman's batsuit specifically at the time of the Asylum's events is made out of a fancy titanium fiber cast with additional Kevlar plates, and is woven together so well that pistol fire is said to only sting him, and the darn thing can take multiple rounds from a sniper rifle that fires 50 caliber rounds that can penetrate through armored vehicles. The suit can also easily protect the wearer through acid that corrodes through solid brick, in which case it might be time for Batman to cover his eyes and mouth. Thanks to his genius intellect, which means that on a bell curve, Batman is likely all the way over here on the tiny 160 plus range. Batman was prepared if something like the Arkham outbreak happened, and had a Batcave secretly installed on the island, which if it cost only a fifth of the main Batcave, this Batcave would still be around $120 million in costs based off of calculations from another episode. When it comes to the most awesome of his tools, we don't have to look much further than his grappling hook. He can hook away guns, and fantastically, this thing is so powerful that Batman has used it to literally grab onto a convertible car and then drag the thing up a building as the thugs watched in utter amazement. Batman's utility belt, like everything else, is expensive, and it's also magnetized, and like his cowl, will deliver a seizure-inducing shock to anyone else who touches it. A cowl that has a built-in comm system, night vision, a scanner for practically anything from ice to bombs to people. It monitors all of his vital signs, allows him to hack into helicopters, and listen to music on the radio. In total, Batman's titanium weave suit, whose fibers have been dipped in molten titanium, is lowballed at costing him over $1 million without the added gadgets and tools. But if none of this was very interesting, then here's how rich is Batman.
Woo! You know you did.
Bane.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it.